Welcome back to Factorio with me, JD. This will be less of a doing stuff episode and more of a let's bring you up to date episode. So, I've had about 20 hours worth of physical in the chair playtime since the last episode. I've had time where I could play but not necessarily record. Things going on around the house, etc. Lots of noise. You guys didn't want to hear it. So you've noticed, first off, we've done a bit of research and we've launched a few satellites. Just a few, because it's automated and I frankly don't even pay attention to it most of the time. So we've launched a few satellites. On top of that, I've done some train track tweaking. Oh, and I built like 20 outposts, and half of them are gone already because this factory just chews outposts. So let's start with outposting. You guys might remember there might have been some train tracks here with like outposts attached to them. They're all gone. This copper one's the only one left, and the only reason it's here is I actually forgot to send trains to it. Let's turn on station names. Yeah, 23 didn't have any trains, so it was still here. Yeah, you can see there's these dead patches of trees where there were train tracks. This one was a new one. 1.2 million iron ore, 350k left. Yep. This is another 1 million copper, 600k left. And it's out of storage because obviously. Build a roboport down there. Sometime I'm going to have to go down there and fix that up. 0.7, which means 700k worth of iron, and went down to 256k left. Where's another new outpost? Oh, here we go. Copper one. 2.8, we're down to 1.3 million. 11 million. We've only gone to 10. Some of these bigger ones tend to stick around for longer, but little ones just disappear. 0.7, it's halved. This was a 0.1 that like I built an iron line to get this one, this one, and this one. It disappeared obviously instantly. 0.1 is still, it's a million worth ore. Alright, it had 100,000, but with our productivity bonus it was a million. It's gone. That one lasted about 12 hours total. This one, 1.4 down to 1.1. Technically, I can actually send more trains to it now because they can sit and stack on the main line. Here's another one, 3.8 million. Pfft, it's lost a million already. Which is actually 10 million when you really sit down and think about it. I obviously forgot to tag that one, but you can see by the where the power poles are, it obviously extended out a lot more. So that was 31 million, I want to say. And of course, yep. So those outposts got built. I was just building along the southern line, and basically I'm going to hit every, these ones are already marked. I'm just going to hit every iron, because that's what we're really short of at the moment. I'm going to hit every iron I can along the southern line, and then I'm going to go do the same in the northern line. These little ones, I'm going to pick them up anyway, because as you can see, we're basically strip mining right the way across the map. Here's our main base, and look, there's a 400,000 down there, which I will go tap because I can. But basically, all the ore from sort of here is just disappearing. So that was the first thing. I also added some. We saw this puppy up and running, which had 18. It's down to 6. I added this one at 51 million. It's down to 49. And I added this one here, which was really awkward actually to get to. Really awkward. Just because of how big these stations are, which is already down to 9, from 9.5 down to 8, basically. The super smelter is running, and the trains got modified. So we did have a 2 18 4 4 18 2. It's down 5. 18 still. 2, 2, 18, 5. And that just came down to the corners. You can see they sit much nicer on the corners. I don't know if I did it in the last one, but I doubled the stations. So now the blueprint is for 2 stations. It means that in theory... Where's the next big iron? When we tap this one, in theory we may be able to put another train on the main line. I honestly don't know because of the size of these trains. You know, Steel 1 only has 2 trains, but it's far enough on the main line. We could park 2 or 3 trains on it. But this is, it's up and running. It's not running at full speed. Basically, we need all 4 smelters running at full speed to get the, whatever the hell these things are. Low density structures running at full speed. But it's cranking along. And it's definitely, you know, this is cut off from the main line now. So all the steel for low density now comes from these 4, and even though only 3 are hooked up, these smelters here. And it's keeping up. It's keeping up with our demand for launching rockets so far. The base is still unfortunately not running at 5,000 per minute, and that's down to purple science pretty much. If you look at the logistics network, we're short on gears, we're short on pipes, and we're short on assembler ones, which basically means we're short on iron. And part of that problem is another traffic jam. Part of that problem is we just can't get iron in here fast enough. Literally, a train shows up, it's gone. It's empty. And we spit out some more packs and train's gone again. But we are ticking through science slowly. We'll look at science. Science actually has all the packs currently. So 1 minute production. We are using 5.1 thousand per minute. We are producing, you know, roughly the right amounts. Blue's actually lacking behind. Why is blue lacking behind? Probably iron. Yep. And it's got 4 trains. And it's an iron problem, which was partially my traffic jam hiccup, partially... I hate the iron smelter. Long story short. So, iron smelter. Turn off those. So what have I done? I cut this train track here. Which might seem a little bit silly, but it was actually done for a really, really, really good reason. So, these bottom 4 steel smelters just weren't getting any iron. By the time the trains repathed, chose a station, they were generally filling up these top ones. They weren't getting down here too often. So I re-enabled the second track. Didn't really help things. But I did notice, and hopefully one of these 2 will do it. Oh, see, he did it instantly. The trains are coming in and they're starting and filling in from the bottom of the stack. And I thought, great, what I'll do is, again, this is why it's been 20 hours worth of playtime. I cut the tracks about here. I noticed all these trains, now they couldn't path to the north, being the iron smelters, they had to path to the steel. Steel was fine. But then, as the stacker slowly filled, you know, slowly emptied out, I noticed, hang on, the steel has heaps of trains, but now the iron has none. So, I found this was the sweet spot. If I broke it here, it means these 2, thanks autosave, which, yeah, we're up at like 180 meg saves. Saves. Autosave. 182 meg. Yeah. I noticed this was the sweet spot. If I cut it here, it meant basically the first 2 trains of the stacker every single time went to steel. And that was pretty much enough to keep steel happy. Yeah, obviously they use more than 2 trains per minute per second worth, whatever you want to calculate it at. But long story short, it was enough trains being dedicated to steel to keep the steel stacker happy. Now, we did have 4 lanes coming out, which we've done previously, but they weren't getting out fast enough. So I changed things up. I now have the far left accessing the top line, which is dedicated iron, or the next 2 accessing the second lane down, which again is dedicated iron. And they had this bypass line, which is just the trains that have to get on. Where am I? I'm right there. Let's run over there and put that signal down. Just the trains that have to get onto this middle lane. Really? They wouldn't fit anyway. Just fix these signals. Back these trains up fast I can. And you might notice my robots are super fast. Basically, that was another thing. Because I'm the only one using these uranium bots, I went to the mod file and sped them up right the way up. So, oh look, there's something to deconstruct. They're basically instantaneous. It's only my bots. Every other bot we see and we use. Where's a bot doing something? There we go. They're all running at worker robot speed 19 and we're researching 20 at half speed. So, yeah, they're actually really, really fast. This whole smelter's using most of its bots, it seems, because for some reason most of its bots have disappeared. Where's one that's actually... Yeah, they should have 750 in it. Well, there you go. There's one running and it's using 100 bots, 150 bots. No idea whichever one it was. Why it was 750. That one's got 1,000. That one's got 400. Obviously, those two were merged at one stage, and when I've taken out the merged roboport, some bots have moved to one network to the other. But yeah, so these guys now have their own dedicated, well spaced out exit lanes. To top it off, I gave them priority, and I was struggling on how to do this, and I was looking at like combinators and circuit networks and all sorts of crap, and then it dawned on me, just put straight signals through. This guy will creep forward every signal as far forward as he can until he can get all the way out, rather than having chain signals all the way along and knowing he had a clear path from start to end. So these guys now creep forward. Which way are you going? Oh, you're going that way. And yes, you will notice that there are a lot more signals than there used to be along my main line. Because now, after playing with 15 for a while longer, I've now got the experience with 15 where I can say, okay, having heaps of signals really does not affect time usage. That's the one I want. Does not affect the Pathfinder. It doesn't really affect the trains either, because I went really low on signals and we're high number. But there are 320 trains, according to me counting the train menu. Yep. That's how I got to 320. There are 320 trains on the network. So, what else did I change? This T-junction. So we did have the ore trains. Well, let's start with... There used to be... Right here, big, thick land bridge. There used to be a T-junction in here, which went all the way up to here. And this north line stopped here, where these two coal outposts are. Turn that back on. So yeah, it stopped about there somewhere. And the idea was to decommission all this and just have, you know, old home-based leak off it. But the T-junction was down here, was dying. It was just overloaded with train. Every single ore train was going through it. I thought, look, I could tack this one in here, and we could have the north lane and the south lane. So I did that, which... Are you moving? I've had a lot of problem with jam trains that just sit in stations and do nothing forever. Why are you taking so long? Because that's not properly signaled. Fuck it, it can stay. Yeah, trains were just sitting there forever. They couldn't move, they couldn't do shit. So, because the T-junction, like, even though they're really good T-junctions, they were at max capacity and then some. So, yeah. Join those two together, which then meant I had ore trains coming along here. And they're turning south, and they're going down, but the problem is the empty ore trains... I know I'm zooming around too fast. I apologise, guys. The empty ore trains are also going south. And it was just too much. Way too much for this. It put a lot of pressure on this T-junction and southbound on these two lanes. So, took our ore trains from the north and gave them their own dedicated path, which comes down right beside the main line and slots in here, which is the iron stacker. So it basically gets them, rather than turning left and then having to come down here and then go across like 6 lanes worth of traffic, and also hold up these ore trains a second time, it means once they're across, they're out of the way. They're off the network, they don't count anymore. Which is awesome. Still left this main top network being flooded. Yeah, this main T intersection being flooded. So again, I gave it priority. So I gave these 2 lanes priority. So you'll see these are now all standard signals. And I'm sure you've noticed it by now. These trains creep forward. Every single time they can move forward a little bit, they do. It's still not enough. There is still a massive blockage with trains getting out. So then, third point. I made a bypass. Because there were trains coming down here that wanted to keep going to the east. And they'd have to slot through here and take their time. So, we now got a bypass lane, which goes straight out. So, the north lane is fine. And actually, it's probably going to get modified. Yeah, whilst I'm here. We'll do it whilst I'm here. Deconstruction planner. That tile, that tile, that tile. And whatever tiles you can get to under there. And yes, instant bots is nice, and because it's my personal bots, I don't mind. It feels a little bit cheaty, but frankly, with the amount of time I wait for my bots just to build shit, it's been a godsend, especially when it comes to lane track. And I know I said I'd ask you guys and see what you thought and all the rest. I just did it. It was driving me nuts. Signaling. Well, first off, let's build the train track. We want to signal. Do I still have a blueprint? Nope. 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 Yes. So I want to signal right about there. And yeah, I made myself a little blueprint with just a couple of signals so I could keep the spacing even and often, basically. And you'll see it's about, what's that, 4 train tiles? So I am slowly going around in those places I can and adding a lot more signals. So, yeah, dedicated, get the hell out of here, straight northbound, skip the T intersection, which again has relieved pressure. Not enough, but has relieved a little bit. Same time, what else have I done? The output from the iron also got upgraded to double lane and got moved right the way over now that we'd removed all the smelters. It is on the 2 inside lanes, which you remember are dedicated iron, and it has this one here on the 3rd lane, and that was for one build in particular. No, other way around. This lane, yeah, left-hand lane goes to this one, which is dedicated iron. Right-hand lane goes to this one, which is dedicated iron. And the right-hand lane also goes to the inside lane, because that's the only spot where oil is hooked up for batteries. Yep, I knew there was a reason. We're still getting problems with trains not emptying liquids or pulling up correctly at stations is probably the better term. So again, there's been a lot of tweaking of individual train stations. I bet you coal 1 has pulled up incorrectly. Where the hell is coal 1? I want to say it's over here somewhere. Haha! No, it's dry, is it? It's full of iron. Okay, so I've got to come over here and fix that. In the meantime, can I do... Oh, I can... Yeah, this is why you leave just a few construction bots in the networks. Yeah, you'd be amazed at what a handful of construction bots can do at distance. No, I can't really squeeze anything else in. Okay. So, yeah. A lot of outposting has been done, and a lot of outposts have disappeared. We're powering on through worker robot speed, and somebody mentioned in the comments, and I don't have it in front of me. Congratulations on doing the green circuit achievement twice over with the processing unit circuits. Yeah, we're up to 3 times over now. We went from 44 million, I think it was, in the other video, up to 68 million, we're just chewing through the achievements. So that sort of brings you guys up to date. Yes, we still have basically getting iron trains in and out of the stacker problems. And we also need to decide when we're going to bring the series to an end. Mainly because it's built to do 5,000 a minute, and technically it could if we could get the stackers working. And this particular map, this far in, I do not think there is a way to rebuild these iron stackers in a way that they would work to get the throughput we need. So, we need to look at an end for the series. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I was thinking robot speed 20 would be the original end, because that's a 16 million point pot research, which is crazy, and I know that. And 1638400, yep, 3 zeros. And I'm just typing this in. Which is, for this, just this research, it is 982 million copper ore. Just ore. Yeah, there's productivity bonus on that when he comes out with plate, which brings us over 1 billion copper iron plate for this research alone. Yeah, copper, it's 500 million. It's 500 million. Actually, that was the other thing with copper. Another copper smelter was added because technically we need 5. One of these puppies, and I'm assuming they're all full. One of these puppies does 55,000. Let's see if I'm right. Yep, 55,000 because 4 smelters didn't show up. 55,000. And we need 220,000 copper per minute. Which we can do. And copper, like, the stack is currently empty. But stock copper's really not our problem. Train path finding is our problem. Oh, that's alright. This stack, this T-junction also got a priority line. So I can't do it with copper. Copper spends a lot of time sitting here waiting. You can see it's stacked way up. Like a lot up, in fact. Maybe I need to change this back. Which is thankfully easy enough to do when I'm down here. Let's run down then. So yeah, we need to decide on an end for the series. And the other advantage of super fast bots is I am chewing up any trees or any rocks I see anywhere on the map are getting deconstructed because my bots are fast enough to do it and catch back up with me, number 1. Number 2, with the nuclear bots, they don't run out of power. So my power armor has changed slightly to have really, really fast running speed, which I already had, but lots and lots of robot ports for range. Just because the game is slowing. It's, you guys can see it's at 30 UPS, and some parts of the game are painful at 30 UPS. That's a lot of trains going southbound. And yeah, the bots are just picking up what trees they can. I'm figuring less trees on the map. Maybe it'll have an impact on performance. Probably not. But I do like the idea of burning millions and millions of trees. Okay. So those copper trains are coming down here and going through this T-junction. And then up to there. Because the copper was coming off here, which was causing its own problems. And I've redirected them down to here. Alright, what we're going to do is I'll show you guys how to change these. So basically, any spot where there was a chain signal, I swapped it out for a full signal. So the trains crept forward. And to swap it back, thankfully, it is easy as this. Just changing every single full signal that I see inside the T-junction back to a chain signal. And done. So now that's done. What we're going to do is we're going to build a new junction up here. Junction's probably the wrong word. A new exit up here for the copper trains. Go away, trees. We just want that one lane. Alright. Signal this puppy before trains start complaining. And after the intersection, hopefully, manual, automatic. Nope. Oh, it's not joined at the other end. Run over there, quick. Alright. Normal signal there. What was that? That was another copper train just went flying past. I don't mind some of the copper trains going through the T intersection and crossing again. But if I can pull most of them off here, that would be brilliant. Yeah, he's already turning off. Alright, hopefully that'll ease the pressure on this T junction. Because, yeah, basically, our ore trains are only on this line. You know, copper comes in here, exits out here. I am considering bringing it back over here and having exit here in the middle. I'm not sure about that one because it'd have to cross the iron trains going north. But then in theory it could go... No, it would cross. But then in theory the copper trains that have to go north can go north, and then the copper trains that have to go south can go south, which means a right-hand turn up the top and a left-hand turn down the bottom. And as you know, we're preferencing left-hand turns. Like iron trains jump out here into... actually, it's this side. Into green circuits, it's a left-hand turn. Out of green circuits, it's a left-hand turn. Back into the smelters, it's a left-hand turn. The only time they're turning right is when they're going into the stacker, which means they're off that main line as fast as possible. But then when they come back out, left-hand turn again. If they're coming down to any of the science builds, left-hand turn. Unfortunately, it's a right-hand turn in and a right-hand turn out. But you can see this line is really not busy. Not busy at all. But yeah, so we've been preferencing that left-hand turn throughout as much the network as we can, which has led to a lot lower congestion than what you'd normally see. But yes, these iron trains, the ore trains, which are the big killers, are turning right from the south and left from the north, and right when they come back out. They're the ones that are hurting us. But yeah, ore trains, iron ore doesn't come past here, and copper ore, because it exits here, comes to here. Input down there, output out there. Same story. I could drag it down. I could drag this down further. But with them exiting here, it's a left-hand turn, and this line's idle. A lot of these. This side of the train tracks is very, very quiet. This side of the train tracks is very, very, very busy. And adding more lanes is not going to help at this point. You're going straight through, you're going straight through, you're turning. You two are trying to get out, 3 are trying to get out, 4 are trying to get out. You're a copper ore train from the north, which... going through that intersection is not going to be... I was thinking about trying to get them to feed in from the north here. But having them go through the intersection rather than left is probably worse up here. So yeah, we're fighting the trains. We're fighting the trains. We're fighting the limitation, in giant air quotes, of what we can do to try and correct the train pathfinding / congestion. And yeah, that's the point we're at. Now, when this video goes out, that was the other thing I had to bring up. When this video goes out, you guys will be happy to know Discord is set up. So stalk me on Discord. I'm not going to put links in just yet, but Discord is set up. You should be able to find me. It's an avatar. The avatar looks like the channel art. You'll find it pretty easy. Twitter, same story. It's set up. Again, stalk me. There's a Facebook page that's running in air quotes. So again, you should be able to find me. What else? That's about it. So I have got some progress. The multiplayer series has hopefully gone out by now. We'll see. We'll see. I'm obviously the Gigabase I can record in my own free time, and it's only my schedule. So yeah, makes things a little bit easier. So I can record quite a bit ahead in this one, and yeah. Yeah, that's cleared up a lot of that congestion. Nope. It's just backed it up on 2 lines rather than 1. Yeah. Yeah, you are loading. That's another thing with all these little outposts. They take a long time to empty. So, oh, and I will bring it up because I know somebody will comment on this video and say, how about another Gigabase series? Maybe. I'll say maybe. I'm a little bit burnt out from the Gigabase scale, but then I've been playing Gigabase style bases for like, I don't know, since version like 13, when you could go big and things didn't break instantly. So maybe. The biggest difference is it'll probably be a slower series. I'll be putting a lot more mods in to start with. No, I'm not doing bobs. Don't even ask. Not happening. Not at a Gigabase scale. Maybe at like a small country town-based style. Maybe I might put bobs on. I've never personally played with it. But yeah, Gigabase bobs would just be suicidal. I know people have done it, but pass. Yeah, that intersection's doing alright. Okay. Yeah, see, this is how my brain works. All over the place is the answer. So, yeah, maybe again, won't be daily episodes, that's for sure. I'll definitely be putting other mods in. One of them will be RSO to have big ass patches, because you can look back to the start of this series and see how the map was set up when 15 just came out. Back in episode 1, I always make sure I show the map settings, and yeah, in episode 1 we set it up with, you know, a rail world, and I was thinking it might be more RSO style rail world. It's not. It's you know, spawns up here. Well, this is a good distance away. 135,000 copper. That's nothing. I want to get this far away and find 1 million. I want to get this far away and find 50 million. Guaranteed. By the time I get out to this far away, my big one, 130 million, I want to find 600 million patches. So yeah, definitely would be putting on RSO, and probably something that gives me infinite ore. Just so once an outpost is done, it's done. I don't have to come back to it. I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, they're definitely 2 mods I'd be looking at. And probably biters off from the start, because I know with UPS up, we've turned them off. But I have a feeling that some of their code is still sitting in the background, maybe costing me a fraction of a UPS here and there. So yeah, different style, different mod set, different schedule, definitely. I'd probably be running it alongside another Factorio series, but we'll see. So, yeah, give me some suggestions. What do you think's a good end for the series? I do know that I will be tapping the Motherload Iron patch tomorrow. That's my goal. And I'm going to wrap somehow 3 stations around it with a giant stacker. And I'd like to say we're going to mine it dry. Although, actually, it's like 1 billion research points. 1 billion ore for the current one we're doing. So oh, and the next one's a cool, charming 2 billion ore. So like this whole patch twice for worker speed 21. I don't think we're going to get worker speed 21 done out of this base. It could happen with time, but yeah. We'll see. We'll see. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm really hoping you're still enjoying the series. Give me a goal for the end. Give me the cutoff date. Give me a suggestion. Really, a suggestion. As always, right from the beginning, I am going to make this map available. What episode are we on? 150... 153. Next episode, 155. 155, I'll do a map download with the current mods and everything else. Nice, convenient package for you guys to grab. And yeah, we'll take it from there. With hopefully some suggestions as to when to end the series. But yeah, as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are still enjoying the series. Leave a comment for what you guys think we should do to call it quits for this series. Maybe 50,000 satellites. That's got to be enough satellites to cover the planet thoroughly. Block out the sun. As always, insults down the bottom along with comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.